This is another tape we're doing. This one we're doing just on backglasses. So what we're going to do is just basically show you a quick, complete shot of the backglass, and then we'll try zooming in on details and things. That way, if you've got that snappy thing on your computer, you can go ahead and grab the glass and print it out if you like. I don't know if you can notice, but we've got definitely a better camera on this one, so it's more important than ever that you send in your $6 to help defray the costs. And of course, here's the address right there. Send in your $6 to help cover the cost of the tape, the postage, and this expensive new camera thingy. So don't forget, if you're watching this tape, you owe me 6 clams. Now this one is United's Moonglow from 1948, December of 1948. It's a George Melenton glass, and you can see there's right in the middle there some Melenton babes. And in the background, we were talking earlier, Charlotte and I, about the fact that that's Venice, not Venice, California, where they hang out in Muscle Beach, but the Venice in Europe. And it's got the canals and the gondoliers and stuff. Real pretty glass. United's Moonglow from December of '48. Okay, this is a Bally Topic from 10 of 1941. What's kind of weird about this is that it's got this wood grain effect right here in the middle, which if you zoom in real close, you can see looks like wood grain vinyl contact paper, but is in fact actually screened onto the glass. And if you tilt the glass forward so that you get the light actually shining through, let me get this arranged here, you'll see that the letters actually come through T-O-P-I-C. When you tilt it that way, you can see the light coming through. You also have other little words like tin and cot and cod. Kind of an interesting glass. Looks a lot better when it's illuminated from behind like that. That's Bally Topic from either 10 or 11. I've got 2 different dates on that, of 1941. Okay, this is Exhibit's Landslide, also from 1941. It's generally just kind of a geometric glass. It's got some real pretty colors. Unfortunately, you can see there's some damage down here in this corner. It's very hard to find glass this old that isn't somehow damaged. Lots of bright, pretty colors, very vivid glass. Interesting machine. Don't have the machine anymore. If you need this glass for restoration purposes, it is available. Okay, this is Keeney's Clover, and I just spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out when this game was made, and I can't find it on any list, which may or may not be surprising, because all that means is it was never advertised for sale. It may have been that they were having a snit with the industry papers at that time and refused to put any advertising in. What's kind of weird about this one is down in the corner here, they got something called Super Score, which I think is a free game indicator. So if you win free games, it shows up as Super Score. If anybody knows anything about Keeney's Clover, let me know. I also do not have the game for this glass, so it is available if you need it for restoration. Okay, this is Exhibit Vanities from February of 1947. And what's weird about this is if you look at the flyer for the game, which I don't have here, it's in another building many miles from here, you'll notice that it's got horses painted on the side, which is the same cabinet that was reused apparently for another game, a horse-themed game that they had 2 games before this. And if you look here in the middle, we'll zoom in on some babes. And I can't tell whose babes those are. It's not any particular style, but they're colorful. They have big floppy dresses. They're having fun. This is Exhibit Vanities from February of '48. Williams Four Corners from 10 of '52. This is a classic glass, and unfortunately, this one is in very rough shape. If anybody has a better Four Corners glass, I have the game. This is unfortunately what's left of the glass. And up here in this corner, you can see it's got a little bingo card. That was what Williams was into with games like Hong Kong and Four Corners and a couple others. Bingo was popular back then, so they figured they would combine a pinball with a bingo feature. And of course, down here you have the infamous George Melenton Babe. And she's just kind of sitting there by the roadside, waiting for somebody to come give her a ride. And over here, you got a hillbilly, which unfortunately had his head cut off. He's not doing too well. Williams Four Corners, very classic glass, very pretty. Sorry about the jumpy camera stuff. I'm not used to this new camera yet. From 1952, lots of kites flying around, real pretty game. Williams Four Corners. Okay, we're doing another George Melenton glass. This one's Williams Highways from March of 1961. It's got, of course, lots of babes standing around on a grassy knoll. I wonder if President Kennedy's near the grassy knoll. And of course they're standing there in high heels on the grass. And there's obviously George Melenton babes. They look quite attractive. And a lot of neat old cars. Right back there underneath the bridge, there's my dad in his station wagon cruising along in 1961. And for some reason they seem to have built a building over the top of the overpass. It might be like a McDonald's or something there on the tollway. And those windows light up with your scores. The only problem with this game is that it's one of those horrendous style of the 60s cabinets that have the metal legs and the flat bottom and are a real pain to move. And because the metal legs are so rigid, you can't shake it at all. Another cool thing about this glass, kind of tucked away over there in the top, you can look, there's like a little city there, and all the cars are like zooming along the expressway going to the city. Very pretty glass, I like it. But then again, I like all of these glasses. I have the game that goes with this machine. So that's Williams Highways from March of '61. Okay, this is Exhibit Supply's Big Parade from November of '41. And you can guess what was happening at the time. That's right, it's a World War II game. And if we zoom in here on the center part, you can see it's definitely got some military guys there and planes in the background getting ready for the big war there. I met the designer of this game at a trade show here in Las Vegas about 3 weeks ago, and he gave me his card, said he'd like to talk about the old days at the Exhibit Supply Company, so I might actually get an interview, and we may fill in another blank as to who designed some of the games from the 40s. If you've got the Talbot book on pinball, this was one of their favorite games, and they put this on the cover of their pinball book. So if you've got that, you might recognize this glass. Okay, from 1958, it's Bally's Bullseye. This is one of their little 5-cent gun games. The reason I'm including this, I know this is a pinball tape, but these are all stored on shelves according to the width. And this is exactly as wide as the other glasses I've been showing you. This one is available for restoration if anybody needs it. And down here at the bottom, look at that, the best bargain in town, 10 to 20 shots for 5 cents. What a deal. Okay, this is a Williams El Paso from 11 of 48. Real beautiful glass. This is one of the cities series. Williams did a series of games named after cities. Saratoga, El Paso, Phoenix, Tucson, Dallas, St. Louis, Maryland, and Boston were their, what they call their city series. And if you zoom in here, you see you have another one of those George Melenton babes. This is a stunningly beautiful glass. It's got great colors. It's got, oh, she looks to have a little Mexican heritage there going on. And you got the Mission building over here, and you have a guy from a Taco Bell is singing her a song there on his guitar. And over here on the left side, you've got your score, which is kind of like just a column of numbers, but very pretty glass. George Melenton could certainly do the babes. Williams El Paso. Okay, this is a United Rio from January of '47. A very high production game. Used to see these all over the place. I estimate there's probably 2,000 to 3,000 of these that they built. United started out during the war as a conversion maker. They would take and buy old games from operators and put in new glasses and new playfields and generally reuse the parts because no materials were available during the war. They made 14 conversions during the war, and then in December of '46 they had a game called Sea Breeze, which I don't have a picture or a flyer for, but then they started in '47, I think in earnest with Rio. Very pretty center of the glass there. You can see it's taking place at Carnival time down in Rio de Janeiro. My favorite thing is the Purple Mountains. You know, they always talk about the Purple Mountains majesty. Well, there they are, folks, the original Purple Mountains. I don't know if they had trouble picking colors or they just didn't know what mountains looked like back in Brazil there. But yeah, this one unfortunately is in real rough shape, this Rio glass, but it is available. If you happen to have a Rio and you need a glass for restoration purposes, you could get this one. United Rio from January of '47. Okay, this one's a United Serenade from 12 of '48. Happens to be the same month as the Moon Glow we saw earlier, also the same artist, George Malenton. Very colorful glass. All this United stuff is really, really beautiful. You've got what appears to be the Andrew sisters here, although there's 6 of them for some reason. And one of them has white hair. Other than that, you got pretty much average selection of Malenton girls there, and if you look down here, they're all showing some legs there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And over here we have what looks like a young Frank Sinatra. He's skinny, he's got a bow tie, and he's got that kind of duck's ass haircut on there. So I think what it was supposed to be a crooner who were big in the 30s and 40s. United Serenade, 12 of '48. We'll be back with another glass. Okay, April of 1953, Williams Times Square, another George Malenton glass, and kind of neat. It shows Times Square back when it used to be civilized, when you used to be able to walk through the place, although I guess Disney's cleaning it up now. And down here we have the credit meter is actually a safety zone. You can't see it because the red is faded so badly on this glass, but that used to say safety zone. And you got a guy and his woman. He's in a suit, he's got a hat, and uh-oh, call the tobacco police. He's actually smoking a cigarette. Look out. And over here, you've got a cool old car. You got a Capri. So that's a cool old car. And over here, I'm thinking that this is why they say that there used to be a lot of drugs on Times Square. There's actually a store where they sell drugs on Times Square. And if you look at the marquee there, it says B. I think what that is actually the Broadway Billiards, where Steve Epstein used to have his arcade right on Times Square. There's a big play tonight. Williams Times Square, another one of those weird Williams games that are almost bingo-ish in the play fields. Got all the trap holes at the bottom. Williams Times Square. Okay, United Shuffle Alley. This one, I've got 6 or 8 of these glasses. If anybody has a use for them, they were given to me, and I was supposed to give them to anybody else who needs them. So if you've got a United Shuffle Alley, there's about 4 different versions. There's the Deluxe, the Super Deluxe, the ABC scoring. I've probably got it. I've got like 20 of these sitting on this same shelf. I just grabbed this one. But again, shows your average 50s babe there, kind of bowling for fun. So if you have any use for this, let me know, United Shuffle Alley. Okay, Genko Bosco from November of '41. Another kind of early war game before they officially shut down for the duration of the war. This one features some neat dogs. If you look at the center there, he's got a kind of an Elvis dog thing going on there, and he's got all his little dog buddies. Down here at the bottom you got some cats, and you got this real neat little mouse down here who's just kind of hanging around. This is a Roy Parker glass. Back before he did the, well no, this is during he did the Gottlieb stuff. And if you'll notice, there's 4 other dogs. There's Annie and Bessie over here on the left, and over here on the right we have Sissy and Dottie. And what those do is, quite often the 4 girls will line up with an A, B, C, D feature for Annie, Bessie, Sissy, and Dottie. And of course you have a 1-2 on the barrel on the left, and a K9 on the barrel on the right. And if you look down here for a while, Genko Manufacturing Not Incorporated. So apparently that was before they thought they could be a corporation. And back here you have the Eat restaurant. Sounds like a truck stop or something. And it's got a dog with a bone. And over here, ooh, the Kennel Club. But it's definitely got that playful kind of Roy Parker look to it. Unfortunately, it's kind of wrecked. Again, it's real hard to find any good glass from the 30s and 40s, but it's cute. It's a Genco game, and it's Bosco. Okay, we got a United's Oklahoma. There's actually two Oklahomas. This one's the one from 9 of 44. It's an actual conversion game from the war, converted out of a leader. You can tell because the two columns of numbers are exactly in the same place as the leader. And then United did go ahead and reuse the name Oklahoma again 5 years later in 1949, and this is from Mike Pasak's flyer book there. You can see that the back glass on this Oklahoma is completely different, and it was only 5 years later. United had a habit of doing that, changing stuff around. This one's a really rough game. Not a lot of art on it, mainly a lot of colorful concentric circles. But what you've got is it's no longer a United's Oklahoma, it's now Ted's Lahoma, because the back glass is flaked so badly. Interesting game to look at. I don't think much of this pre-flipper stuff as far as playability, but that gives you an idea of what the two Oklahomas look like. United's Wisconsin from November of 1948. Another beautiful George Melenton glass. I actually have this game. This one, for some reason, is in real good shape. If you get down here, you see you got some real nice Melenton babes here, just kind of relaxing around in the grass, and some dorky guys in there. They got their little picnic basket. And over here you got, ooh, a blonde babe. And back here on the, I would assume to be something like the Wisconsin Dells, where all the Chicago pinball executives vacationed. You see all the speedboats and the brilliant purple on there. And along the top you got all the score numbers and a tree with a credit window. So that's Wisconsin from 1948. 8 of 41, we have Keeney's Twin 6, which is kind of a remake of, I got a mental block, Twin 6, Super 6 from 2 years earlier. This one's in real good shape. Real pretty, very Art Deco-ish glass. There's no real artwork, just a lot of shapes, and of course, just like the other Keeney games we saw earlier, it's got this super score for the replay window. And over here, down in this corner, we have the original Glass Company seal that they put on, all the way from the 40s. It says 3/16" window glass. This one came out of a guy's attic in St. Paul. I drove to see my grandparents in Minneapolis and stopped in. Saw this guy, he sold me all this glass for $15 a sheet. Keeney's Twin 6, real pretty glass. It is available for restoration if anybody needs it. Okay, this is 7 of 1946, Exhibits Fastball. Again, real colorful glass. Anytime you silkscreen ink directly onto glass, you get a lot of very vivid colors. Hopefully with this new camera you're seeing it better than in past tapes. Again, I can't recognize any particular style. I can't definitely say for sure who this artist is, but it's kind of a surrealistic, less realistic style than normal, and looks just like they're a bunch of happy folks out at the ball game. Exhibits Fastball. Okay, 8 of 1955 is Williams Snafu, and if you know anything about military slang, snafu is situation normal, all fucked up. Although this doesn't seem to have anything to do with the military. What it is just two horny guys in a car. Looks like some kind of a modified jalopy there. And they're kind of checking out this Melenton babe. Yep, this is another George Melenton glass. And they have a Bonton shop there in the background. And a fire plug down here where the credit meter is. Unfortunately, this glass is not in very good shape. A lot of these older games just kind of flake off. This one is not available for restoration, but the last glass we saw, the Fastball, I forgot to mention, is available for restoration, so if you need it, give me a call or drop me a note. Okay, next up we got Gottlieb's Rocket Ship. I've been ignoring the Gottlieb stuff for a while, and the one on the right is an original. You can see it's a little banged up, and the one on the left is Herb's new reproduction glass. I'll move them over in a minute so you can do a side-by-side comparison. You'll see, let me move the two of them in together here. Now if we can zoom in here a little bit, let the thing focus. Okay, that's the reproduction glass right there, and you can see that the number 2 that we're on is very well defined. The black is black, the white is white, there's no seepage between the two. Now there's the original there, and if we go down here, we will pick up part of the Babe, the Parker Babe with the helmet. Now there's the original, and I defy you to tell any difference between that one and that one. And if you zoom in on the writing on her scroll there, you can see that that's fairly detailed stuff, including her hand there. And then we'll scoot over here and show the, oh, I can't see the same thing because I covered it up like a dummy. But yeah, that's the reproduction glass, and my best advice is to any collector who thinks they might need a reproduction glass is to get it now, because a lot of these are starting to sell out. I had a call from a guy in Wisconsin just yesterday wanting to know if I had any Buccaneer glasses left, because he dilly-dallied and didn't order his, and now they're sold out. So if you want a glass that looks this good, I would suggest you order it now while they're still available. 7 of 1955, it's Gottlieb's Adeline, also known as Sweet Adeline, although on the model number list it's listed as Adeline. And before they had computers, they had chicks with adding machines on the beach. This is a great glass. It shows Roy Parker's sense of humor. And if you get in here on the cool part, you got a Sweet Adeline's chorus there on the left, and a woman with an adding machine, and a horny old man with a cigar, and a ledger book, and a gut. Look at the gut on that monster. Very pretty glass, and you can see over on the left is adding machine tapes, and the idea is to complete a sequence of numbers, and at the bottom you get the total, and that lights your specials. Very interesting game. I recommend, if you ever find a Sweet Adeline, that you should probably try and get it, because it's a great game to play, not just a great game to look at. Gottlieb's Sweet Adeline. Okay, we got Gottlieb's Universe from 10 of 59, and this is another glass that's available from Herb as a reproduction, and this is one of the glasses that's probably going to sell out. And if you look down here on mine in this corner, it's in pretty rough shape. Somebody put some Scotch tape on it years ago, and the tape peeled away and pulled the paint away with it. But basically it's just chicks laying around on the moon, and here's one riding a rocket ship here with lots of horny guys looking out the window. Even the pilot's horny. And you can see once again that one of Roy Parker's artistic problems were his hands. When we were kids, we used to call it the artist who couldn't draw hands. If you look at her hands there, they're not really finished, but then you look at his faces are always very well defined, and of course the bodies are something to look at. But it's a very pretty glass. This one's faded a little, you can see. And up here in the right-hand corner is the trips. If you're a hippie like me, you're into trips. That tells you that's a second way for you to win free games, is to accumulate a certain amount of trips. And behind this centerpiece here is a mechanical ship that goes around and around. Interesting game. I recommend it if you get a chance to get one. Gottlieb's Universe. We'll be back with another glass. Okay, we're jumping all the way up to 5 of 68. This is Gottlieb's Funland, an Art Stenholm glass during their hippie zippy period. This is an almost new specimen. This is a beautiful Funland glass. I've had 4 or 5 different Funland glasses and traded up every time I found a nicer one. My lesser specimens are available. If you need a Funland glass, let me know. I've got 3 or 4 extras on this. You got lots of nice little hot dogs there on the grill, and you got the ducks that go around. You got guys on mini bikes and chicks in mini skirts. Ooh, it's like a day at the fun park. And speaking of fun park, that was the name of the Adiball version of this game, which was used in Wisconsin and New York State. And then for Italy, they made it as Funland, Fun Fair, Fun Park. They made it as Fun Fair and Tivoli for Italy. They made it twice in Italy, both with different back glasses, but it was the same game. So this is available 4 different ways. If you're confused and you want to see black and white pictures of what the Italian or Adiball versions look like, you should get Mike Pasak's flyer book. It has pictures of everything in there. Another thing that's highly recommended. Gottlieb's Funland. Okay, this is Gottlieb's Crosstown from 10 of 66. We've covered this as a whole game in other tapes, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, other than to say that this is available as a reproduction, and I've got 2 or 3 originals in this kind of nice condition. If anybody's looking for one, I have a couple available that are this nice. Just as a matter of trivia, this is also the last game that featured a ball push-up. Was Crosstown in the Add-A-Ball version Subway. And being a gumball machine nut, I always wanted a square gumball machine that spat your peanuts out onto the floor. This is an Art Stenholm glass. You can see he's got that characteristic Art Stenholm pointy kind of lips thing going on. And it's there on the game. There's a couple of doors that open up, and there's a guy with a tuba in there. Very famous game. You've probably seen it before, so we won't dwell on this one. Gottlieb's High Diver from 4 of 59. This was the tournament game 2 years ago at the Herb Show featuring Tim doing all the work, and this is also a glass that Herb has reproduced. I recommend, he's down to single-digit quantities on a lot of this stuff, so if you're ever going to need a reproduction glass, you should probably go ahead and get it now. There's the lifeguard reading Supermen magazine. She's got some cool glasses on her. And there's a horny guy just out of the pool. And more Parker babes rubbing each other with oil there. Ooh, 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 and more babes climbing up the ladder to go skin diving, or diving off the board there. And as you get farther back, you see that they begin to lose their features a little bit. And there's the ultra-modern swim club, the Gottlieb's Swim Club, saying High Diver along the roof. Very pretty glass. In the middle there's another backglass animation, a piece of plastic that goes around and around. On one half of the plastic it has a beautiful woman, on the other half it has a guy in a clown suit. And over here you can see it was when Gottlieb was rating your score, either genius, super, excellent, good, or fair. I never understood why they did that, but maybe just something else to take up space on the back glass. Very pretty glass. This original is available. If anybody has a need for original High Diver glass, I replaced mine with the reproduction. So this one and 2 others like it are available. Okay, we're looking at Queen of Diamonds from 6 of 1959. This is a rough one. It is available because I went ahead and bought the reproduction glass. And over on the left we have World Beauties, which is what we call the B side of Queen of Diamonds. What happened was Gottlieb made a very successful game called Queen of Diamonds. And as you can see right in the middle there's 3 windows where a roto unit is in the background, and the idea of the roto unit is to hit all these cards, which go ahead and light your specials. And right in the middle of the array of cards is a beautiful Parker babe. Again, if you can see this in the reproduction glass, it's just stunning to see it when the colors have not faded. This glass is kind of shabby. If you look down at the bottom where the horny king is playing cards, you can see the large sections of it are in fact gone. And again, if you're going to buy any of these reproduction glasses, I would do it now before they become unavailable. Playing cards there. And if you look at the B version, which because they sold quite a few Queen of Diamonds and operators still wanted that game, rather than make too many of them and drive the resale price of Queen of Diamonds down, 6 months later in January of '60, they remade the game as World Beauties. Now this is the World Beauties reproduction glass, but instead of the 13 cards, they have 13 Parker babes, and in the middle they have a woman, Miss Universe, showing you world tours, and she's got the globe there. We'll run through all 13 babes here real quick. We got Miss Sweden, she's a fox in a box. And we have Miss Germany, yeah, good for the fatherland. Miss France, yep, she doesn't shave her pits. Miss Switzerland, what she got in that hat, big chunks of Nazi gold. We got Miss Canada, she's almost like us, only she's got a goofier hat. Miss England, you can't see her teeth because they're probably rotten. Hey, there she is, Miss USA. We have Miss Belgium, Miss Austria, ooh la la, Miss Holland, Miss Venezuela, a little south of the border chick there, Miss Italy, and of course Miss Japan. And if you look at the detail on this reproduction glass, it's exceptionally fine. I have absolutely no complaints. I had a woman call me up from somewhere the other day and ask if the reproduction glasses were as nice as the originals. And I guess I'll just have to send her this tape. She can make up her own mind. Of the 2 games, I prefer World Beauties, even though the playfields are exactly the same. simply because it's got more babes on the back glass. And Queen of Diamonds, I don't really like the color scheme as much. So that's kind of a twofer there. You can make up your own mind. Both of these glasses are available, either my original at a slight discount, or you can go ahead and call Herb for the reproduction glass. Okay, this one's Gottlieb's Rotopool from 7 of 58, and as you can see, this one has got its share of problems. I put a sheet of Supro film, basically a playfield mylar, on the back glass, and it immediately started to pull away because I did not get it on straight. So you can see it's got a bunch of cracking there, and if you look down on her dress, her butt has some severe cracking and shifting. And up over here, before I could put the film on it, the flaking had started quite a bit in the numerals. Lucky thing for me, this is available as a reproduction glass. It's also kind of too bad that you can't see the game when it's the glass when it's in the game and lit up in a dark room, because what's behind the center area there are a bunch of plastic pool balls, and you get in a dark room and you get that lit up with those pool balls, it really looks sharp. First time I saw this glass, I was very impressed. And here's another problem down here in the corner. A big chunk of it fell off and kind of shifted down there. So that's everybody's got a horror story about trying to treat their glasses with something. If there's a reproduction available, I strongly suggest that you buy it. Okay, 7 of 1954. Gottlieb comes out with a game called Daisy May. And what a beauty this is. I remember the first time I saw this game, I was just absolutely stunned with it. If you look in here, and it's got everything that you want in a back glass. It's got a Parker Babe in a suggestive pose. It's got hillbillies. It's got horny hillbillies down here, and there's the man's shaving mug, like he needs to shave a lot. And down here you have what's in his mug, which is a jug of cider. And you have a couple of blackbirds there and a worm. And you got a can of paint right there. And if you can see the faint outline of the word double inside that box there, this is one of the Gottlieb series of games where a second nickel that you'd insert would double your awards. And there you have the old man, the sleeping hillbilly there. And here we have a couple of tourists taking pictures, and there's one of the hillbilly women chasing one of the hillbilly men. There's I don't know, looks like a hillbilly house with people dancing outside of it. And then all across the top you have these cool guy apples. This is how Roy Parker would work scoring into the art of the game. He would put a row of apples across the top to score the millions. And down here you can see there's two Beavis and Butthead kind of guys, Beavis and Butthead hillbillies, pushing over the outhouse, and he's going to say to the other hillbilly, tilt. It's a real hard game to find. There was not very many of this game produced, and very few of them survive. If you ever get a chance to get a Daisy May, when I saw this one, I kind of took the theory that, well, I can always get more money, but I'm never going to find another Daisy May. Also, it's been announced that the next batch of back glasses that Herb is reproducing, the next gang of 12, Daisy May will be one of the glasses, so a glass will be available for this very soon. Okay, we got a Gottlieb Bankeball from 7 of 65, one of the last of the Roy Parker glasses, and it looks like a bunch of clean teens hanging around a pool table in somebody's basement rec room. They got that terrible linoleum, checkered linoleum floor in their rec room. If you check it out back here, you got, looks like popping the top on a bottle of beer. No, those teens are too clean. That's soda they're drinking there. And here we have a guy and a gal going at it, dancing. And here's another example of how Roy Parker was not very good with hands. Wherever you see a hand, it has a tendency to be more of a lump of flesh than an actual hand. But then you start looking at the faces, like the face on the main babe. That's a classic Parker face. And you got a guy back here trying to rock the jukebox. He's putting on one of those 45 RPM records, the little records with the big holes. And if you look at her dress, right there, you can see that it says tilt on her dress. That's how the tilt light comes on. They reproduced this glass 3-4 years ago. Steve Engel out of New York. And again, I would recommend that if you're going to get one soon. And if you look at the clear part of the glass right below the words Bankeball, that's where the little plastic balls would pop down on relay arms. every time you'd score one, it would come down. Great playing game, very high production game, very successful for operators. I've talked to several operators that make quite a bit of money with this game. Gottlieb's Bankable. Okay, this is Bowling Queen from 7 of 64, and it was made once before and once after this same playfield was reused. It originally was called Racquetball in 12 of 62, and then in 10 of 69 they redid it as Mibs, the marble game. And what happens is that big blank area in the middle of the glass is where the balls pop up, and the balls have a satisfying thunk as they thunk against that glass and score your bonus. If you can get 9, 10, 11, or 12 balls by hitting rollovers, you can get the free games that way, as well as free games by score. And again, you can see it takes place in a bowling alley. You got this saucy waitress type here with the cool hairdo. She's got a little hole in her hairdo there. And you got groovy guys in the rollaway lanes, and groovy gals doing fun bowling stuff. She looks like she's like angry or something. Youch. And if you look over here, these degenerate youths are playing pinball. And let's see if we can figure out what games these are here that they're playing. That looks like a bowling queen, isn't it? It's an actual bowling queen. And there's a gaucho, and there's a flipper clown. So you can see the 3 games they're playing. 1 add-a-ball and 2 replay games in a bowling alley. And you can see they're a member of the Gottlieb Stars bowling team. Classic All-Stars tournament. And there you have the woman with the floating 3 strikes on her head made out of a bowling ball. Very odd looking glass, and it's kind of neat to see that there's actual Gottlieb games in a back glass, that they actually used games from a prior era in their back glass. I think someone said they were either going to reproduce this one or the racquetball glass coming up very soon, so look for the reproduction glass available for these. That's Bowling Queen from Gottlieb. This is Gottlieb's Glamour from 7 of 51. This to me is a stunning glass. This is everything that back glass art should be. This is also an extremely fine specimen. They only built 300 of this game. It was kind of an afterthought. They'd been building drop coin shoot games for 3 games before this, and then they came out with Glamour, which was a push shoot game. Wayne Nyens, the designer, said that they had it sitting on the shelf, and he finally said, just run it. I don't care, just run it. But if you look at the glass, it's got a very large Parker Babe, and she's in a reclining pose, lots of vivid colors, basic simple statement of glamour. And you'll notice this one's spelled G-L-A-M-O-R. The Bally game called Glamour was spelled G-L-A-M-O-U-R. Very pretty glass. You'll probably never see another one. If you do, it probably won't be in this nice a shape. Not a very good game to play, but a great game to look at. Okay, this is Gottlieb's Team 1. Now, we've covered this whole game on a prior tape. The only reason I'm going to show you this is that I have 2 or 3 extra Team 1 glasses, all with the same problem, the infamous flaking in the reds. So if you happen to have a need for a Team 1 glass, I've got 2 or 3 of them that are available cheap for restoration. Looking kind of like this one, a little ratty. This is the add-a-ball version of Gottlieb's Abracadabra. Okay, December of 57, it's Gottlieb's Straight Flush. This is kind of a lesser specimen. This one's also available if you have a need for a straight flush glass. You can see it's got some flaking on it. That's all been held back down with Mylar, so it's not going to get any worse. And if you look at her chest area there, she's got pretty bad zits and acne. The interesting thing about this glass is that it's got this symmetrical checkerboard background. You don't see symmetrical stuff like that much on the Gottlieb glasses. In the center you've got a Parker Babe playing cards. And of course you have the usual 13 cards around there. And this glass has been reproduced and is still available. I don't know how many Herb has left. But yeah, Gottlieb Straight Flush. Fun game to play if you ever get a chance to get one. Gottlieb's Barnacle Bill, 8 of 48. This is kind of a controversial glass because the song, this is based on a hit song from the 40s about Barnacle Bill the Sailor, and in the song he he's going to a house of maidens, and I don't know if that means a whorehouse or what.
Yes,
but
it does.
Charlotte thinks it's a whorehouse. I think it's just
I know I've got a dictionary that says maidens were referred
maiden.
to
Prostitutes were referred to as maidens, and if you look in here, you'll see that right up there you got Roy Parker's artwork with a rooms for lighthouse keepers, and she looks like I don't know. She looks pretty much like a hoe. And who's this guy throwing a flower pot down? There's all sorts of weird Parker art stuff in this one. Over here we have the lighthouse where the lighthouse keeper is from. And down here we have all the nice little boats in the harbor. I didn't see any of them that say Flipper or Flipper 2, so apparently none of the Gottlieb actual family boats are in this glass. And there's See the Sea, It's a Sight. And over here we have a maiden in a water taxi. And down here we got a parrot. We got a horny sailor at the door of the whorehouse with his parrot, and if you can, let me see if I can tilt the glass down, you can actually see the lighting behind it. It says, "Whoa, mateys, tilt." I don't know how well that's coming through. There we go. "Whoa, mateys, tilt." So that's, and of course the camera had to zoom back out on its own. But that's, the tilt light is always something comical in these Parker glasses. And there's a couple of drunken fun lovers, and there's a cat in a hat box. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Why would a horny sailor be bringing a cat in a hat box
bringing her
to
little
a...
pussy.
Yeah, bringing her a little pussy. I don't know. But that's a weird looking glass. This one is not a spare. It's not available for you, and it has not been reproduced yet. So you just get to look at this one. You can't get it from me. Haha. Gottlieb's Marble Queen, 6 of 53. This is another Parker glass. This one's got women sitting around playing marbles. This is an extremely bad copy of this glass. Parts of her head are missing. Very rough. I got this, the whole game for $100 from the back of a distributor. He's just sitting back there, and he asked, "Do you think $100 is too much for this game?" This was only about 2 years ago. And I said, "Yeah, I can pay $100 for this." But as you can see, it's Girls Town. And over here, we have the Gas House, which is, apparently there was a gas house gang. And you can see a horny guy coming over the fence. Now, supposedly all the people in these back glasses were supposed to be people from the Gottlieb factory. Oh, and for all you people with satellite dishes, that thing on top of the roof there is not a paper clip on a pole, it's a TV antenna. And yeah, you just got lots of nice babes. Unfortunately, her face is missing, which is kind of too bad. And I'm hoping somebody redoes this glass soon, because mine is real shabby. But that's Gottlieb's Marble Queen. Real pretty game, fun game to play. I recommend it. Williams Jungle from 7 of 1960. This is one of the games where they had a backglass animation, although I didn't think it was very much. It's just in the clear center part there where I have the little dog. You have Yo quiero Taco Bell. You have a bunch of animals that pop up. Very colorful glass, though. This one's in pretty good shape. This is also one of those horrible style of the 60s games. And you got a George Malenton babe over here. She's got a gun, chicks with guns. And yeah, I guess they call them rainforests now, but back then they were jungles. And yeah, you just try to get all the animals to pop up in the glass. I've never set my game up, so I don't know what it's like to play. So if anybody out there has an opinion on Williams Jungle, let me know. Genko's Big Top from 2 of 49, another Leroy Parker glass. Parker did the art for all the Genko games, all the Gottlieb games, most of the Chicago Coin games, and quite a few of the other manufacturers' games. He's got a very distinctive style, you can pretty much tell. What's weird about this glass is they have an obvious African woman here, but the only problem is she's got the long lips and the rings around her neck, but she's got Caucasian skin. Now that might have been because brown as a color does not do well when you try to put light through it, or else it might just have been a thing where we're not going to have any blacks on our pinball machines. But other than that, you got some real nice Parker babes. You got three little circus girls there in the background, and you got this babe right here. And the idea of the game is to spell big top. You got kind of like the evil circus master guy right there. And yeah, interesting game. There's another babe down there. Zoom in so you can see this cool Parker babe. And this glass, unfortunately, isn't in that great a shape, although the playfield on this game is real nice. That's Genko's Big Top from 1949. Gottlieb's Photo Finish from 7 of 61, not to be confused with the Gottlieb game Photo Finish from 1937, which was a payout horse game. This one's obviously a flipper game from the 60s. You can see the score to beat windows. Another Parker glass. The only problem I've got with this glass is there tends to be way too much brown in the middle of the glass. If you look at all these horses, they're different shades of brown, dark brown, light brown, and then the jockeys are wearing red. So it has a tendency when you first glance at the glass just to be a muddle of browns in the middle. Some crazy Parker things going on. Over here you have a I don't know, what is it, a bum or just some bystanders cheering things on. Just kind of hanging around in the background in a Parker glass. The more you look at it, the more you see weird things. And over here you have, I think that's supposed to be Dave Gottlieb there, the guy with the cigar. People tell me that when you see that face on a Parker glass, it's supposed to be Dave Gottlieb. He looks a lot like the guy who's looking in the window on the 50s game Happy Days. And of course you have a woman with her purse getting ready to bet all her money on the stupid horse race game. I've got two of these glasses. I've got two of the game. Unfortunately, they're both in kind of rough condition like this. So if anybody out there has a photo finish glass in better shape, I'd love to have it. Give me a call. Okay, we got Keeney's Old Plantation. Now, this isn't really a pinball. It's a what they call a flasher or an upright slot glass. If you see over on the left, we have the infamous slot machine odds table over here, and just you don't see any numbers of what they actually pay off. That's what the columns and the green tall bushes contain, are the actual payouts for each symbol. And the reason I'm featuring this is because not a lot of people have seen it, and it's got some really cool Roy Parker artwork on it. Parker also did most of the Keeney glass. There's a kind of a neat little red dog there, and here we have a Southern Belle just kind of sitting there being dainty. And long before Michael Jackson was into the fingerless glove, she had it there. She's got a corsage on her. And then we have the old Southern horny gentleman, and we got other guys on horses off here in the background, and other Southern Belles. Very pretty glass. They're just all kind of standing around thinking of what they're going to do. But that's Keeney's Old Plantation. Oh, another weird thing is it's got something called total score, high score, and subtotal. Now, I don't know what a flasher game would need 3 different scores for, but if anyone's ever played this game, understands what it is, let me know. I'd be interested to find out. Okay, February of '76, Gottlieb's Sure Shot, Gordon Morrison glass. This one's actually a so if you know anybody that's looking for a pretty good Sure Shot glass, this one's available. Trying to let everybody know what I've got as far as extra glass. Basically what it is a gay 90s kind of pool room thing going on, and a foxy babe in a polka dot dress there is trying to beat this cool 90s kind of guy, 1890s kind of guy at a game of pool. I never really liked this game that much because there's no targets. I'm kind of a target nut. But the glass is pretty, and if you have a need for it, this one's available. Okay, 8 of 55. This is a Williams Regatta. Another George Millenton glass. The sea seems to be a favorite theme of pinballs over and over again. This one's no exception. You'll see the flags along the right-hand side of the glass. That's apparently how you control the bumper score. I've never actually played this game, so I couldn't really tell you any of the details of how it plays, but They do have a boat right here, and of course we got to zoom in to see what the boat says. The boat says Joy, so I don't know if that was somebody at Williams' boat. But it's just basically another aquatic scene with lots of sailboats, very cleverly disguising your point score. And a couple of George Malenton babes right here. He always has such innocent-looking women, but they're so scantily clad. And you got a cool deck scene happening up here. Some people just kind of sitting around chilling on the boat. Williams Regatta, this is one of those monstrous splay leg games where the legs come out like a tank from the side of the cabinet. Big monstrous wooden legs. I've got the machine, so this glass is not a spare, but I haven't had time to set it up yet. 5 of 1971, this is Gottlieb's Play Ball, a Gordon Morrison glass. Gordon Morrison was the third Gottlieb artist behind Art Stenholm and Roy Parker. This is one of those games where you have both point score in the upper left and a home run score in the upper right. I always enjoyed that as a kid. I didn't particularly like this game because there was not the definite shots that you had on the original Gottlieb baseball from '69, one of my favorite games of all time. Also, I think this artwork is a little bit too psychedelic, and I didn't think that psychedelic artwork had any place in a baseball-themed game. I'm kind of a traditionalist, and even his attempts at humor, like this hot dog vendor, I mean, he could be saying something or doing something, but it's not even that comical. Does anyone know what stadium that is? I suppose there's baseball nuts. Maybe it's Comiskey Park, because this game was made in Chicago. Something to speculate about. Play ball is a good game. It's also the second or the third game, depending on how you count, that Gottlieb built in their new factory on Lake Street in North Lake, Illinois. So it was kind of a model changeover thing. They were getting used to their new factory. I don't particularly like the game, like I said before, but it's a good glass, interesting to look at. Okay, 4 of 74. This is Gottlieb's Sky Jump, another Gordon Morrison game. I like the way the colors work together in this. It's got a lot of pastel fields and buildings and things going on in the background. Also, the perspective seems to be tilted a little bit with the Gottlieb airplane there in the right, kind of off at an angle, and the skydiver's not going symmetrically straight down, and the layout of the fields being kind of left to right. And up here in the corner, we've got the original City of Las Vegas amusement device tag for the Union Plaza Hotel and Casino. There was a guy that worked there. He was a vice president of something or other. I'd been doing repairs for him, keeping his games going for a couple of years. And then he said he was moving. His daughters had grown up. He didn't want the pinball machine anymore. Just come on over and pick it up. So I picked up this and a Gottlieb Kingpin from the guy that had regular maintenance and was in real good shape. I don't really like Sky Jump as a game, but I couldn't turn it down. It was free. Oh, and if anybody knows the significance of the number on the tail of the Gottlieb airplane, N118PA, if that means anything, somebody out there might know the answer to that. That's Gottlieb's Sky Jump. Okay, Gottlieb's Spot-A-Card from 8 of 1960. And this one is kind of weird because it's one of the plastic back glasses they made for export. It's made out of plexiglass. Not a great looking glass. I think the yellow is a little overwhelming. But if you look down here in the corner, instead of saying D. Gottlieb and Company USA or Chicago 60641, it just says a Gottlieb Flipper skill game without the address. That's another clue that you're dealing with an export item. And here in the center you've got some sophisticated guys and gals playing a game called Spot-A-Card. And there, of course, you've got the usual cards. It's another Roy Parker glass. And up here in the corner, we have some Roy Parker jokers here. There's one joker there. And this joker over here, his word balloon says tilt. So if you happen to tilt, the joker will kind of make fun of you. A thing to watch out for if you happen to answer an ad in the paper for a Spot-A-Card, keep in mind that Gottlieb made another game called Spot-A-Card in 1941, which is of course a pre-flipper game. I also have a spotted card from 41 glass, and this particular plastic glass is available if someone needs it as a spare, or if it's nicer than yours, let me know. You can get this one. February of 1959, Williams Spot Pool. I'm not sure who did the art on this. There's not really a lot of art. A lot of color. Mainly it's just your 15 pool balls right in the middle of the glass. And one of my smart-ass helpers, the last time we were putting glass up on the shelf, decided it was time to add a little commentary. So, of course, these two became Beavis and Butthead, something about stroking the wood. But don't worry, that's just on there with marker. Not to worry. This one, I do have the game for it, so it's not a spare glass, and is not available. Never set the game up, don't really have an opinion on it. Okay, December of 1953, Williams game called Nine Sisters, George Melenton art, and what you're seeing is in fact 9 sisters, but they're 3 clones of each other, so you're only getting 3 babes, which I always thought was kind of a letdown. And as you can see, this game is, this glass has had much better days. It's quite rough in spots. Let's zoom in on the babes here. Get some chick action going there. There's the redhead. And of course you gotta have a blonde, because us blondes have more fun. And down here we have a brunette or a blue head, depending on how you look at it. And over here is the object of the whole thing, is the Nine Sisters store. Now somebody told me that in the 60s there was actually a clothing chain called Three Sisters. So I guess that's what this is. This is like a takeoff on the clothing chain Three Sisters, and of course they've got a sign for their store that's like 8 or 9 stories tall that says Nine Sisters. And for a 1953 game, you might also notice there's something weird about this. It's got score dials. Williams made 5 or 6 games in the 50s that had score dials, and as you can see there's 7 score windows, but there were actually only 3 score dials. The 3 leftmost dials would be filled with dials that actually moved, and the 4 rightmost dials would just be dummy cardboard zeros that would just kind of sit there. Unfortunately, I do have this game, so this glass is as good as I'm going to get. If anybody out there has a better Nine Sisters glass, let me know. Help, help. Okay, 9 of 1952, Gottlieb's Skill Pool. This is, again, not in the best shape. You got a more groovy Gottlieb guys and groovy Gottlieb girls, all drawn by Roy Parker, sitting around playing pool. It seems like every second or third Gottlieb game had something to do with pool, probably because there's so many pool halls that they put these in. If you look at the faces of the 2 fellows, it seems like the line work is a little dark. It's like they didn't spend a lot of time on it, and of course you get the problem with Roy Parker and hands. If you look at her hand down here on the pool cue, she's got what looks like impossibly placed fingers. So we have the theory that Roy Parker couldn't draw hands very well. If you need a skill pool glass, what I'm going to show you next is what I did for my second skill pool game, and you can do in your town. It's a photographic process, and we'll look at that here in just a second. Okay, what we have here, sorry about moving the camera, this is a photograph, an actual engineering photograph that was blown up to actual size. It was taken on an 8x10 negative, so you had an extremely fine negative, and then it was printed on very heavy paper so that when the light goes through it, you get that look of a backglass. And on the back of it, they have what they call a vellum, which basically is an opaque sheet that outlines all the points on the original glass that was originally opaque, so that hopefully when you put the 2 of them together, I know this is kind of hard to see, but bear with me on this, and the light shines through them, you can actually make it look like, almost like a backglass. Now, if somebody out there has a skill pool and needs a paper and vellum copy of this, let me know, because I have 2 or 3 of these left. If you're thinking about doing this on your own, you go to any blueprint house or engineering graphics place in your town, and for about $100 to $150 they can make you a set of both of these, and the second one is considerably cheaper, and the third one and fourth one and so on are virtually free. So if you have a need for a skill pool, let me know. Okay, this is Gottlieb's King Cole, also known as Old King Cole. This is another reproduction that is available if you need one. If you have a King Cole that's got a rotten glass, I have available this paper reproduction back glass and the vellum that's opaque that goes behind it, where all the numbers shine through. I wish I had something better, and many thanks to Butch down in Sarasota for letting me use his original. This is Gottlieb's Old King Cole. I don't know the date because I can't look it up. I'm out here holding this thing up. A Roy Parker glass from the late 40s. February of 1941 Bally broadcast. This was a 5-ball game, not to be confused with all the Bally horse race games, which only shot 1 ball, paid cash. This one had 5 balls, and all you could do was win free games. This one's kind of rough. It's also a spare. If you know anybody that has a Bally broadcast, this one's available. I don't know who did the artwork on it, but it does have a couple of interesting babes, if you're into such things, with the come hither look. The closer you get in, you can see how rough this glass actually is. And she looks surprised for some reason. And right here in the middle are the letters COD, which was a common and reoccurring theme in pinballs. For some reason, cash on delivery seemed to fascinate pinball makers. But that's Bally broadcast from February of 41. If you know anybody that needs it, it's here waiting for you. February of 67, Gottlieb's King of Diamonds. Art Stemholm is the artist. Very pretty glass, lots going on. Almost Parker-esque in some of its humor. You've got a guy with a sharp hat here. He's a riverboat gambler type. You see guys like this in Vegas all the time. He's hanging out playing cards, and he's got babes helping him cheat. And got the bartender guy, the waiter guy, kind of like spying in on his cards. And over here, there's the bouncer kicking out a guy, saying you can go over to Pinball Pete's and play. We don't want bums like you in here. And over here we have the infamous piano player. And of course, sitting on top of the piano is a slutty babe in a red dress. Ooh la la. What I like best about this chick is her orange hair. I always wanted a chick with orange hair. But yeah, the women look almost like Parker women in this one. Art Stenholm was trying to mimic the style of Roy Parker quite a bit on this one. If you didn't get the reproduction of this glass, this is the original. My original is a little rough. I've got 4 or 5 King of Diamonds. And if you didn't get the original, you missed out because they're beautiful. If you need this one's kind of shabby, but it's available. If someone needs a King of Diamonds glass, give me a call. Okay, after World War II, Bally started putting out games again. One of the first ones they made was Bally Midget Racer from 10 of 46. This one, unfortunately, the whole top of it, all the paint is gone, which is kind of too bad. If you look up there, you see a lot of blue, which is the background behind it. All of that paint is gone. Interesting game. Instead of scoring in points, you score in laps, and you win free games for laps. And of course, you got all these comical settings going on here. You have mechanics discussing their car, and there's the guy giving the driver a bribe while the IRS agent looks on. And then you got all kinds of cool little midget racer cars. They all have little numbers on them. Interesting glass. I have this game, the midget racer game. I also have a Bally Hot Rods, which is another game kind of like it. Bally would always try weird things. Anything they could do to try to convert a game to gambling, they would. Bally's Midget Racer. This is a NASCO Madam Butterfly. Now, I'm not sure on the date on this because it's not on the particular list I have with me right now. There was an article in the Pin Game Journal a couple years ago about NASCO, which stands for Nat Schillner Company. They did conversions. They'd take old games, put new glass in them, new play fields, resell them again. Very pretty glass, lots of colors going on. Madam Butterfly is an oriental babe. She's kind of relaxing there, and you got the pagodas happening, and lots of nice color in this one. I don't know what game it originally went in, but I suspect it was something United, since there were a lot of United games around. And the glass is the same size as a United glass. It's a little wider than a Gottlieb glass. So if anybody knows what Madame Butterfly goes in, you're smarter than me. 9 of 1947, this is a United Hawaii. United didn't get into the flipper thing until 6 months into 48. They were the last manufacturer not to do flippers, so this is definitely a pre-flipper game. Very pretty colorful glass. Apparently they're just hanging out playing shuffleboard. It looks like George Melenton art. I'm not sure on this one, but it sure looks like his style. You got really big babes, just kind of the corner of her face down here, and then it ends. You don't even see her mouth. And lots of Hawaiian chicks with leis on them, and they're standing around playing shuffleboard. You got the blue waters of the ocean in the background. More people hanging out here. The colors on these United games are very, very vivid. And I also have this game, United's Hawaii. Very pretty to look at. Can't say as the pre-flippers are much fun to play, but boy, they're great to look at. United Streamliner from February of 44. America was in the middle of World War II. They couldn't get materials. So what United did, they would buy up any and all Exhibit Stars, which was a game from February of 41, from 3 years earlier. They would slide new backglasses and put new playfields in, and the Exhibit Stars would become a United Streamliner. I used to have the game for this. It's gone now. So I do have a United Streamliner glass, and if you look close, the theme of the game is obviously the new modern streamlined trains. There's one there. They don't look old and clunky like the steam trains from earlier in the century. And there's a long shot of another one. Looks like it's crossing the desert right about by Palm Springs there. Very colorful game. It's obviously they were a little constricted in the design of the glass because they had to have all the numbers be in exactly the same place as the Exhibit Stars that they used as a base game. So they were a little bit constricted there, but it's quite pretty to look at. And it is available if you need one, United Streamliner. 5 of 1950, we got Gottlieb's Buffalo Bill, trying to get it centered there. Gottlieb's Buffalo Bill, this is the last of the 4 turret shooter games that Gottlieb built. Very, very pretty glass. And the wooden lower archway is also has the same style, same artist, Roy Parker artwork on it. And between the two, it's just a very beautiful game to look at. Unfortunately, the turret shooters weren't much fun to play because the game went too quick. In the center of the glass, you got Buffalo Bill, his own self, just kind of looking at you there. And of course, you can't have a Parker game without a Parker babe. So she's on her horse. She's got her leg out there, her cute little moccasins. Yowie Kazowie. And then, of course, in the background, you have some Indians. And over here, you got some buffalo. And, of course, when I'm busy doing something, the phone rings. So I'm going to go answer the phone. I'll be back in a minute. 4 of 1966. This is Gottlieb's Central Park. It's the second to the last game that ever featured a ball push-up, the last one being the crosstown that we saw earlier. And in the center here, if this was in the game, instead of having the Taco Bell dog, what you would have would be a monkey ringing a bell. And it's a very famous glass. You've probably seen it a whole bunch of times in books and stuff. It's very pretty, Art Stenholm glass. This is a very nice original. If anybody has a need for this, I have this one and another one just like it in just as nice a condition. Let me know. This one's available for restoration. Whoops, 6 of 63, Gottlieb's Square Head. This is the Adaball version of Egghead, although the playfields are completely different. Generally, people think of them as the same. This is a real famous backglass because there's so much weird stuff going on in it. Roy Parker did the art. This is a real nice original. If you didn't get the reproduction, this one is available. Just lots of goofy stuff going on. Might as well start up here in this corner here. First time I saw this game was at Cedar Point. And I couldn't believe there was so much weird stuff on a backglass. I'd seen Egghead, but it wasn't nearly as weird. There's the Sky High Chair Lift Corporation. and he's in the inferior decorating ink. And there's your Gottlieb Flipper skill game. And there he is, the original squarehead. He's kind of a hillbilly carpenter type of guy. And you got this building full of people. There's a woman putting out her long undies. And there's a guy with apparently a marijuana plant. He's growing marijuana plant in his window there. And there's another Parker babe, and Rooms, R-O-O-M with the S backwards. Oh, and look at her. She's got a little kitty cat. And there's a woman there washing the broken windows. I think this is supposed to be like Hillbillies in the City or something. And there's a guy eating a sandwich on a Park District bench, and he's got his little hot coffee there. There's his woman and his child. It's like the Squarehead family, and whoa, wide load. And there's Cheap Cheap, a bird on a keep off the grass sign. And there's another hillbilly carpenter carrying some cement, some C-E-M-E-N-T on his head. And he's got a tattoo of a hula girl. This is like, there's so much weird stuff going on in this glass. There's another babe there, just kind of hanging out in her short shorts there. And more animals down here. There's a dog underfoot. And there's some kids playing marbles and another stripy cat. There's just so much weird goings on. Only he's not playing marbles. He's kind of looking at the Parker babe there. And there's the trash can, and it's not Clean Up Week, W-E-E-K. It's Clean Up Week. Really strange glass. Lots of strange stuff going on. Yeah, if you didn't get the original or the reproduction on this, I would sell this one to you if you've got a need for it. Gottlieb Squarehead from '63. Weird glass. 12 of 1957, we got Genko's Showboat. Now, I don't think this is a Parker glass. It definitely doesn't look like Parker art. The numbers aren't the same. The line detail isn't as fine, and the faces don't look the same, which is kind of odd because Genko generally used Parker for all their artwork. There was a series of fires at the company that Roy Parker worked for called Reproduction Graphics right around this time. This might have been during one of the fires where they had to go to a different supplier, like advertising posters, to get their glass done. I've got the game, never set it up before. You don't see too many of the later Genko games, but what you got is a spacious babe with, this is what I mean about the lines. Look at the line is not as fine on her stockings as it would be on a Parker glass. And over here you've got another session of card playing going on. And if you look at this guy here, you can see that he's like got his eye shade, and that doesn't look like anybody spent too much time drawing that guy's face. I think I could probably do a better job. Don't really have an opinion on the game because, like I say, I've never set mine up before. Genko's Showboat, one of those weird games that you're never going to see anyplace else, from 1957. 12 of 1962, we got Gottlieb's Racquetball. Now, just heard they were going to reproduce this one. This is going to be one of the next up-and-coming glasses. And this is good because mine is kind of, you can see it's got some defects in it. Again, it's just people hanging around in a rec room. They got the usual checkerboard linoleum floor, playing pool and listening to their own jukebox. Ooh, we got a jukebox in our house. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of jukebox that is. Gottlieb never made a jukebox. Nah, it looks like one of them damn Wurlitzers. Ugh. The pot metal pigs of the jukebox business. But you can see again, there's a window there, and in that window, you can pop up to 12 balls. You can get a free game at 9, 10, 11, or 12, depending on the way you set it. And it's just more Parker babes. I really enjoyed Racquetball. Somebody must have enjoyed it because, again, they made it again in '64 as Bowling Queen and again in '69 as Mibs. Everybody has to have a birthday game. This is my birthday game. Came out the month and year I was born. Gottlieb Harbor Lights. Great glass. Again, Roy Parker is the artist. Lots of weird things going on. You got the score up in the left-hand corner here. It's kind of kept score with flags and numbers. You got the blimp over here. Now this is kind of a shabby original. I have a big piece missing out of mine, but it says, "See Our Sights" by Harbor Lights. Now Harbor Lights was actually a song in the 50s. Oh, and there's a guy bailing out right there. A weird Parker-esque guy. And the rich guy with a suitcase full of money. He's got his umbrella there. And you got the thousands are kept track of there on that lighthouse. And there's Dave Gottlieb's boat, Dave Gottlieb's boat, the original Flipper. And then there was Flipper 1 and now Flipper 2. There's someone stuck in the harbor there with a little SOS, help, help, help. And of course the buoy, David Bowie going ding dong. And you got a rowing race, just all kinds of weird stuff. The more you look on the glass, the more you see strange stuff going on. There's another boat, looks like some kind of a military thing. And there's an old-time sailing boat with the sails and stuff going on. And down here we have Tugboat Annie going toot toot. And of course, what could be more neat than to have a sailor returning to his woman. His woman is running into the arms of his man. And over here we have another woman who's just kind of sitting there with a sailor in bell-bottoms. And here's a horny old salty dog here. He's just kind of checking out her fine little butt there. And over here we have, could it be a hoe and a sailor? She's got her pocketbook and she's demanding money. And there's their amusement pinballs as American as baseball and hot dogs logo. There's just this is kind of one of these Parker glasses where there's a lot going on. And there's a sign that says, focus, no fishing. And there's the original Tippy canoe with the Indian guy in it. Lots of weird stuff going on. There's the Great White Hunter there. And he's got his the monkey from Central Park with his little tin cup. Just lots of weird stuff. Oh, there's the USS Gottlieb. And they're firing at people. And, oh, there's a sailor jumping off after a mermaid. And there's lots of weird stuff. Every time you look in a different corner, you see something strange. But that's Harbor Lights. It's also a great game to play. I highly recommend it if you get a chance to get a Harbor Lights. It's a good game. 11 of 58. This is Gottlieb's Sitting Pretty. Another Roy Parker glass. Oh, I forgot to mention on the Harbor Lights, they have reproduced that glass. So it is available from Herb. And if you want my second specimen, the one you saw there, that's available too. The same thing is true for Sitting Pretty. You can see mine's got a few rough spots in it, but I went ahead and bought the reproduction. So if you need this one, if it's better than yours, let me know. Again, it's I never really liked it the first time I looked at this glass because I couldn't understand what those cloning chambers. There's like 7 cloning chambers there in the middle, and apparently what it is some kind of a water game that they used to play at carnivals and stuff. Because here's all these Parker babes and Parker guys just getting ready to throw balls. The object of the game is to go ahead and light up all 7 clone chambers. Very colorful glass. It really started to grow on me after a while. And there's, of course, another Parker babe sitting on a swing that's being held up by a bunch of balloons. And there's the token evil clown. And there's the roller coaster with the name Sitting Pretty on it. Again, a kind of fun, cartoony, carnival-looking kind of glass. And down here in this corner, we have Gottlieb's famous rating system from Genius down to Fair. I never really understood the need for that, but they put it on a few games in the 50s and 60s. Gottlieb's Sitting Pretty. Let me know if you need this one, because I bought the reproduction. In April of '78, they made 270 of a game called Neptune. It's the replay version of Hit the Deck. And there was another one called Poseidon, which is exactly the same game, only it had the word Poseidon in the middle instead of the word Neptune. It's kind of odd. I've seen like many of these glasses spare, so apparently they printed up a lot more glasses than they actually built the games. It's Gordon Morrison again, the artist, and it's a classic Gottlieb card game, shoot the card game. Only this time Neptune's coming up out of the water, and if you look at these 5 fishes down here, every Gottlieb game that they made for Italy would have 5 of something on it so that you could award yourself star balls or fish balls, whatever you wanted to call them. Extra balls that weren't extra balls, they were just kind of there and you could play them again. And over here, of course, you see the D. Gottlieb and Company logo, which has been added to it. It says a Columbia Pictures Industry Company. And if you go back farther, you'll look at the score dials on this one. Were actually black with orange numbers that look like LEDs. This was apparently an attempt by Gottlieb to make their mechanical games look like digital games, although I don't know who would have been fooled by that. And directly above that is the 4 fish with the, each one has a different card suit on it. Neptune is a good game to play. If you get a chance to get a Neptune or hit the deck, I would recommend it. And I think Steve Engel at Mayfair still has a few of these extra glasses left. Neptune from 1978. Okay, 10 of 1957 is Gottlieb's Silver, which is kind of weird because it doesn't have anything silver in it. Quite an interesting glass, though. You got two High-Step and Parker Babes down here. Again, Leroy Parker did the art for this one. They're both kicking up their legs there, and here you have the horny old prospector and his buddies. They're just kind of all looking up there, and they've got their suds, their beer there. And up here at the top, you got this scene where you got a Buffalo Bill looking kind of guy there riding through town, and of course you got your blacksmith shop, you got your Wells Fargo, and this is the best part right here. They got an arcade that's also a barber shop, and it sells guns. Sounds kind of like one of those arcades I used to work at. Guns, arcades, and barber shop. And there's your hotel there, the Silver Inn. Ooh, and there's jail. In case you're bad, you end up in jail. And there's, of course, a wagon train there in the Western Union. So yeah, in all, it's a pretty cool glass. I don't think they've reproduced this one yet. This is my original, and I think I need it, so it's not for sale for you. Gottlieb's Silver. Gottlieb's Globetrotter from 10 of 51, not to be confused with the Gottlieb gambling machine from 1938, also called Globetrotter. That one would have a big, huge cabinet and a real tiny head. This one would look more like the pinball you're used to. You got a big plane in the middle of it, very colorful glass, and the object of the game is to get from Chicago to Denver by flying around the world. And if you look, we'll zoom in here. You start out in Chicago where they make pinball machines, and I think that's a fountain, or is that Water Tower Place? I'm not sure. And then you got New York. There's obviously the Brooklyn Bridge and the skyscrapers. And then you got Santa Maria. I'm not even sure where that is. It's probably in Spain somewhere. And then you got London. And why you have a guy in a Toreador hat in London, I'll never know. And then you skip over the airplane's wings there and you end up in Paris, the city of love where people don't shave their armpits. And then you come down to Tripoli. That's where Muammar Gaddafi is, in Libya. And again, you can see the minarets in the background. Rome, the Eternal City. You've got the fountains where you're supposed to throw the coins in. Cairo, in Egypt, you got the pyramids in the background. And then Baghdad, over to Tehran, where there's hostages and stuff going on. Karachi in Venezuela. Then over to Manila, which is in the Philippines. And then Midway Island, which is in the, I think it's a military protectorate of the U.S. now. I think they use it for like refueling airplanes. Then Honolulu in Hawaii, back to San Francisco, back up over the airplane's wings, back to your destination, which is Denver. So that gives you an idea of a more serious side of Roy Parker, who drew this glass. Not a lot of comic-y, cartoony stuff going on this one. December of 1978, Gottlieb's Rock Star, the Adiball version of Blue Note. There was no Italian version on this game. Apparently they just gave up on that. They also only made 268 of this game. Very hard game to find. Very weird playfield, but we're not talking about playfields, we're talking about glass. And it looks kind of like maybe Gordon Morrison's version of Sonny and Cher. I don't know. Doesn't look like any rock stars I know, because mainly they're not dirty enough, and it looks like they got jobs. Blah. But yeah, if we zoom in on here, we got a Cher lookalike there, and she's kind of just focused. There you go. And she's just kind of hanging out with the big long Gordon Morrison hair there. And there's Sonny waiting to get wrapped around a tree. But yeah, very basic, simple Gottlieb Rockstar glass. Gottlieb Shindig from 9 of 53. Basically, it's some kind of a dance marathon contest going on here. Roy Parker is, of course, the artist. And down here in the corner, looks like you've got a, kind of looks kind of rockola-ish there with the jukebox. And you got a couple white people there dancing. And then you got down here, you got all these couples. Now these guys seem okay because they look like they're having fun. But then you get into these other people who really start to scare me because they all dress alike. Look at that, they all got red and green and blue. And there's an old coot and a real young blonde there. And somebody in a zoot suit of some sort. Yeah, so everybody's just twisting and having a good old time. Hey, maybe there's that Dave Gottlieb look-alike we keep seeing as a reoccurring role there. And down here you got, of course, your little band, your groovy combo. And of course you got people hanging out watching. So yeah, it's a pretty cool Parker glass. I like it. It's Gottlieb's Shindig. Okay, 7 of 62. It's Williams Friendship 7. I don't know who did the art on this. It's the Russian Friendship 7, the link-up thing they did. And this is, I shagged this off some guy's porch. It was out in his backyard for a couple of years, and it was completely covered in dirt. And I actually think the dirt helped save a little bit of the paint. It's kind of rough down in this corner. He only charged me $50 for the game. Looks like his spacesuit is starting to fall apart. And there's a little star saying, "Take me to your leader." And this is the Friendship 7 capsule itself. And as you can see, it's an add-a-ball game. Nobody ever talks about the Williams add-a-balls like Friendship 7 and Vagabond. But they made add-a-balls just like Gottlieb. And you couldn't win free games. All you could do is pile up free balls. Williams Friendship 7. December of 56, Gottlieb's Rainbow. You might be asking yourself why I don't do these tapes in chronological order. Well, all the glasses you've seen on this tape so far came off one shelf. And rather than have to dig through the shelves and move the glass around and risk maybe breaking something, I'm only taking it off the shelf, photographing it, and putting it back on the shelf. So that's why everything's just kind of tutti-frutti. It's also why we haven't seen any two-player games, since they're on a different shelf. Basically what you got is, again, a horny old miner and his horny old purple goat there, and he's just found himself a nugget in his little pan there, and he's imagining 3 Parker babes standing at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Now, why a guy out in the middle of the desert would be thinking about a sleazy neighborhood like Hollywood, I don't know. But there's the cactus, and the looks like the goat here is having dreams of a female goat. Ooh! So both the miner and his goat are kind of horny there. And there's a nice little stream, and there's the rainbow that the game is actually named after. So apparently you find the pot of gold and the groovy-looking Parker babes at the end of the rainbow. Here's a Gottlieb Atlantis glass that's really, really rough. This one's available for next to nothing to anybody who has an Atlantis. Lots of pieces of paint missing on this one. Let me know if you need it. Gottlieb Majorettes 8 of 64. Originally designed as a game called Flipper Hoedown. It would have been the last in the Flipper series. For some reason they changed it. Basically, again, you got just Parker babes and cool white guys doing the band thing. All you band geeks from high school can probably appreciate this. But yeah, it's just basic, straightforward girls on a glass kind of thing. Gottlieb Majorettes from 1964. December of 48, Gottlieb's Harvest Moon. Very hard game to find. I looked for years before I found one. Let's zoom in here on it. Got all sorts of neat, Roy Parker stuff going on. Kind of like that knockout game. You got women with rolling pins going after guys, horny cats. You got a band there called the Night Owls. They're just kind of hanging out there. That guy's going swish, swish, and rip, rip, and screech, screech. There's the exit, and there's another woman pulling on a guy's beard. It's basically a harvest dance where all the hillbillies get together and swing that thing. The top part of this glass, unfortunately, is in real rough shape. You can see the owl is kind of gone there. And unfortunately, this one's not available for you. I have the game that goes with this. So that's Gottlieb's Harvest Moon. January of '77, one of the last of the great Gottlieb Wedgehead single-player games, Jack's Open. This is a Gordon Morrison glass. And as you can see, it's just a bunch of cool guys and cool gals hanging around in some outer space planet playing cards. This one's a real nice one. This is the best of 3 or 4 that I have. If you look in there, there's just like all sorts of the super cool Gordon Morrison surrealism going on. And over here you got some chick with really long red hair running away with a card. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But if you ever get a chance to get this game, I highly recommend it. It's a great card game, great drop target game, everything you could want in a pinball without any ramps. No ramps! January of '68, Gottlieb's Royal Guard. We covered this game in a previous tape, so I'm not going to go into it other than to say that this is a spare glass. And unfortunately, if you look up here at the top, this one would be available for little or no money. To anybody who absolutely needs a Royal Guard glass, this one's available. 7 of '61, Gottlieb's Big Casino. This one again is covered in another tape, so we won't go into any depth on it other than to say that this one is available on the cheap, because you can obviously see it's got damage on it up there at the top. Where the score to beat window is pretty bad, and down here in this corner it's missing big huge chunks. So if you need a big casino glass, this one's here for you. March of 1970, Gottlieb's Flip-A-Card. What a great game to play, and it's also a pretty good game to look at. You can get into the pinkish red kind of thing, and it's basically 2 girls sitting around playing cards in their room. And when we were kids, we used to bang right below the score dials there, right where that dog is. If you would hit the dog, it would give you 1,000 points. You just wail on the back glass with your fist. So we used to call that the nip dog, because we used to nip the dog there and he'd give us 1,000 points. And down here in this corner, unfortunately, is one of the infamous tape marks. For some reason, Advertising Poster, the company that did the printing of these glasses, would use tape on the glass before they printed it. No, it was the foam weather seal tape they used caused the actual paint to discolor. So that's what that is. You see that on a lot of Gottlieb glasses, unfortunately. Quality control wasn't very good there. And oh, what's this? Is this a picture of James Dean? That looks like some matinee idol kind of guy there. But yeah, two Art Stenholm babes sitting around. One's playing the guitar. She's got pretty groovy green hair. And I also really like the way this game plays. Spent half my youth playing Flip-A-Card. Gottlieb's Jack and Jill from 4 of 48. This is one of the fairy tale series based on old fairy tale and nursery rhymes. This is a real pretty glass. Unfortunately, it's in rough shape. But somebody's going to reproduce this in the next batch that Herb's doing. Kind of an interesting game. I'm going to tilt it forward so you can see what it does. There's a backglass animation here that when you tilt it forward, it goes through the nursery rhyme, and each one of those little silhouetted figures there. Let me see if I can zoom in on one here. Yeah, Jack fell down and broke his crown. So it's kind of neat. Every time you score 10 points, it moves like that. Jack and Jill, one of the fairy tale series games from 1948. 10 of 61, Gottlieb's Flipper Fair, Roy Parker art again. This one's kind of neat. You got an evil clown in the middle of it. You can see he's got that kind of look, like he's grinning, like he knows too much, like he's up to something, like he's some kind of an evil clown. And over here we got one of my favorite icons of all time, the pink elephant. And of course you got some Parker babes riding on the pink elephant. And over here on the other side of the glass you got the blue elephant. and another Parker babe, and you got another evil clown, and there's another one of Roy Parker's really bad hands. The man just couldn't draw hands for some reason. So this is Flipper Fair, one of the infamous Gottlieb Adaball Flipper series, and of course there was Flipper, Flipper Clown, Flipper Cowboy, Flipper Fair, Flipper Parade, Flipper Pool, and of course Majorettes. 3 of 65 Gottlieb's Kings and Queens. Beautiful glass. This one's being reproduced I think twice now. There ought to be some still floating around. Steve Urkel at Mayfair probably still has them. Beautiful job on the reproduction. This is just all full of stuff, Roy Parkerisms. There's a horny bartender. Never met a bartender who wasn't horny. And a horny cowboy and some showgirls. And another Parker babe there pulling something out of her bosom. It's the ace. And of course we have the horny riverboat gambler. And you are supposed to be the other card player, and because this babe here is holding up this mirror, you can see what the man's hand is. And he's, of course, looking off over this way. And here's a famous Parkerism, a woman with a rolling pin looking for the husband, coming into the bar looking for daddy. Kings and Queens, a great glass, a real fun game to play. Unfortunately, it's a real hard game to find. Gottlieb's Kings and Queens. 12 of 55, it's Gottlieb's Easy Aces, another Roy Parker glass. This one has 7 luscious Parker babes across the top, and 3 of them milling around down here at the bottom. And if you saw in one of the tapes I've done before, there was a game called Surfin' Safari, where there was a grid in the middle of the playfield that consisted of 6 different rows and 5 different rows and 6 different columns. That's basically, the designer based it on this game, where if you get a row of cards, you get 1 award, and where you get a column of cards, you get another reward. I think Herb has reproduced this glass. It'd be a good one for you to get if you can. There's some of the Parker babes holding up their little signs there. There's the other 3 over there, 4. Gottlieb's Easy Aces. Real good game if you get a chance to get one. Gottlieb's Spot a Card from 11. Gottlieb's Spot a Card 11 of 41. This looks like a Roy Parker glass. It also kind of looks like a bingo. That was the big thing at the time, was to imitate the one-ball games. You have an A card and a B card. If you look at the printing there in the middle of the glass, that definitely looks like Roy Parker's lettering on there. If you need this glass, I have it available. This is a spare. This would also, I believe it to be the last game before they ran into war material restrictions. In 11 and 41 they did this game, and then they had another game called 5 and 10, which the flyer looks like it's been extensively changed and the price was hiked considerably. So I think this is the last one before they got clamped down with no more materials for the war. 4 of 64, Gottlieb's World Fair, another real pretty Parker glass. It's got Little Egypt over here. She was a famous carnival dancer, and you got the usual barkers and women looking stunned and men looking horny, all sorts of horny men. Ooh. And of course you got the Ferris wheel. That's the whole theme of the thing, is the giant Ferris wheel. Yeah, Gottlieb's World Fair, real pretty glass, very colorful. Good game to get if you get a chance. 9 of 58, Gottlieb's Sunshine. This one's got a roto unit in the back. You can see where the center part is all clear. It's got a real neat looking Parker babe right there. She's kind of hanging out in the middle of the glass there, radiating sunshine. Ooh la la. And you've got another Parker babe right there, kind of hanging around, pointing at the numbers, which is the point of the whole game. And you got another Parker babe with a beach ball hanging around right back there on the back glass. So that's Gottlieb's Sunshine. Another one of those funny games where you have a rating system on the right-hand side of the glass. 9 of 56, Gottlieb's Auto Race, another Roy Parker glass. This one's a, looks like some kind of a weird, funny open cars there. What do you call those? Stock cars, cattle cars, something like that. And it's Speed Racer! Ooh, look, it's Speed Racer. And they're hanging around, just going in here, doing a pit stop. There's one guy there with a car problem, getting a new tire put on. And down here you got some nice Roy Parker spectators. Got a woman with purple hair. Looks like she's been eating fudge there. Ugh. But yeah, you got more spectators. Guy looks like Clark Kent there. Gottlieb's Auto Race from 1956. December of '61, Gottlieb's Egghead. What a crazy glass. I remember the first time I saw this when I was a kid. I thought that Roy Parker guy, I didn't know who he was at the time. So this guy must be crazy. Look at all the stuff that's going on in this tic-tac-toe game. You got this robot. It's no ordinary robot. It's an oxy-robot. Robot. And he's got his OX there and all kinds of cool shining little rivets on him. And over here is the Unipack computer, which has neutrons, oldtrons, and usetrons. And you got more Parker babes right in the middle of the glass there. They're cheering on the robot there, trying to beat him. And here you have the Mercury switches right above the replay window. And there's the electronic confuser. Ooh, and another horny guy. A stratosphere press here. And quiet, Genus at work. And high voltage. What a weird, wacky glass. I like this one. This one has been reproduced, so if you have an egghead and you missed out, I do have this one available cheap. 5 of 57, Gottlieb's Royal Flush, not to be confused with the Gottlieb Royal Flush of 1976. And of course, the Chicago coin game called Royal Flash. Oh, look at that one. This one's in rough shape. Please, please, somebody reproduce this glass quickly, because mine is really in bad shape. I could use a new one. Royal Flush. February of '51, Gottlieb's Minstrel Man, a controversial glass based on Al Jolson, who was a star again suddenly in 1951. I think that's supposed to be Al Jolson right there. And she's definitely an Afro-American. You don't see too many black chicks on backglasses, but there's one right there. And of course you got more whiteys in blackface back there, pretending to be playing the banjo and stuff. And down here you have to have your token white guy in the big hat. I think he's the Man. Didn't we see the Man on some other pinball glass? But yeah, here you got the scorekeeping numbers are all done with the series of blackface guys. And up here you got the 7 different notes and the words Minstrel Man. Another Roy Parker glass. This one has been reproduced. Herb did this one. So this is not my keeper glass. This one's available if somebody needs it. 12 of 69, Gottlieb's Road Race, and Art Stenholm glass during their hippy-zippy day-glow period. Kind of a pretty game to look at. Some European city there, but they've obviously got a lot of hills and stuff and a lot of numbered cars and a lot of spectators running around there. All these people over here, for some reason, are just blue. Not a great game to play. Also kind of a dud. They didn't really make a lot of them. It was a lower production game for Gottlieb. Road Race. January of '55, Gottlieb's Gypsy Queen. This has been on record albums and t-shirts. This is a real famous glass. This one's also been reproduced, so if you need this particular one that you're looking at, it is available. Just got a bunch of cards in the center. Down here you got all these jokers kind of lined up. That's another score feature. And over here you got the king just kind of sitting around on his throne there, chilling with his boys in the hood. And there, of course, you have the Queen of the Gypsies up there. Another Roy Parker babe. Gypsy Queen, great looking game, great playing game. Get one if you get a chance. Gottlieb's Jockey Club, 4 of 54. Another one of those double award games. If you put in a second nickel, you'll double the amount that you win. You got Miss Dallas there. You got Miss America, who I don't know if that's the horse or the woman. And over here, stuck way over in the corner, you have Miss Stee. I think that what that was supposed to be was Miss Steel Pier, which is where they have the Atlantic City Beauty Contest. In the center, you got a turf track. Now, if it doesn't look like there's a lot going on in this glass, that's because all the action is actually going on the back of the glass. Let me go back here, flip it over so you can see what's going on. When the light shines through, you can see you got all kinds of numbers and stuff happening there in the middle. And each time the horse runs around the track, it gains in point value. So that's Gottlieb's Jockey Club. February of 1960, Gottlieb's Wagon Train, featuring 2 Indian maidens. This one up here kind of looks like she's ready to do some serious scalping there. And down here you have the friendly Parker maiden. she's just kind of welcoming them in there. She's got the peace pipe there, got some marijuana cigarettes from Ugly Mike, and decided to have some. And then of course here you have the horny settlers, and you have the infamous score to beat window, which Gottlieb used for a while in the 60s so that you could see what the first replay level was. Never really liked that idea. I found it kind of hokey. Gottlieb's Wagon Train. 9 of 54, Gottlieb's Lady Luck. Real great looking glass. Another one of those double award games where the second nickel, of course, will double your prize. And if you look closely at this boat here, you'll see that it's, again, the Gottlieb family boat, the Flipper. So that must be a boat full of Gottliebs in there. And you have the women throwing a life preserver there to the drowning fellow. Another Parker Babes. What's really great about the center of this glass is the fact that it's so symmetrical. It's two babes with nice butts, just kind of hanging around a big 5 of 53 Gottlieb's Guys Dolls. Not Guys and Dolls or Guys and Dolls, just Guys Dolls. Bunch of guys with top hats and some Parker Babes hanging out in Central Park. If you look up here, you got Million Row, which behind there, of course, is where the million point scores are. You got 5 different Parker Babes right there, all holding a different letter. I don't know why there's a strip of film here. Maybe it was because of the Guys and Dolls movie. A separate point score over here, and of course one more Parker Babe here in the corner, kind of striking up the band. If you've ever played this game, you know it's really weird because it doesn't have flippers. It's got a bunch of kicking posts all along the bottom of the playfield, and I've talked to a bunch of operators who say it never made money, but then you talk to collectors, and all the collectors want the game just because it's different and weird, and I've heard it's actually kind of fun. Gottlieb's 7 of 51, Watch My Line, Gottlieb's only bingo machine. It has no flippers. It's just got a figure-8 playfield and a real pretty back glass. They only made 600 of them. It's a hard game to find. This one's in real nice shape. Up here you have, of course, the famous panel from What's My Line. There's Kitty Kelly and Arnold Carlisle and who that other guy is, I don't remember. And you got a bingo card in the middle, and you got Parker Babe over here, presiding over, of course, the famous linoleum floor. And down here we have that chubby-cheeked Gottlieb guy, Roy Parker guy that keeps showing up in the Chicago coin glasses. Or is it a ventriloquist dummy? I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. It's a bingo that you can only win 15 games on, so it didn't really make it as a bingo. The only time Gottlieb deviated from their pinball line in the 50s. 2 of 49, Gottlieb's Bowling Champ, another Roy Parker glass. Not a lot going on artistically. It seems like the whole glass is either taken up by the bowling pins in the lower right or the massive amount of scoring thingies up in the top center of the glass. Down here, basically what you got is just guys and girls bowling. And as you can see, this is a real rough glass. I've got somebody painted in the whole center of it green there. Yuck. So I hope somebody does a Bowling Champ glass fairly soon as a reproduction. 10 of 50, Gottlieb's Spot Bowler. This is another one of my really badly wrecked glasses. If you look at the whole center of it, looks like the game got wet. It looks like the bowling alley thing kind of got like all corroded. This is too bad. This is what happens when you let back glasses get wet. And over next to it is apparently the people I got the game from decided they were going to redo the glass themselves. So what you have is this. It's actually not too bad a job if you look at it, but they didn't finish it. They started painting in a clear sheet of glass almost exactly like the original Spot Bowler. Didn't do too bad a job, but they didn't finish it. Kind of weird to see somebody go to all that effort and then just quit. Gottlieb's Spot Bowler shows you what you can do if you're stupid and you got a whole lot of time. 67, Gottlieb's Sing-Along. I used to play this game for hours when I was a kid. And for some reason I always used to have match on the number 9. So right there in the center where it says music, it always used to light up with number 9. It used to say music 9. This is an Art Stenholm glass. Lots of things going on. You got carolers right over here, and there's some cool woman there bringing out some beer and pretzels for him. There's another one of these tape stains that they have on these Gottlieb games. That's from when the factory put that weather stripping on there. And over here you got guys off looking out the window, and there's the cop talking on the phone, probably eating a donut. And you can see they're on the corner of Carroll Street and Singing Lane, yow. And there's guys in their cool Gottlieb sweater, and there's 2 juvenile delinquents there. I don't know, that one kid there looks like he's got his mask over his face, maybe going to rob a liquor store. There's more carolers down there, and there's the Gottlieb sing-along logo. Be interesting to see what that tune on that sheet music there actually is. Maybe somebody out there in TV land could go ahead and play that for us. And there's some car that's overheated. Real interesting glass, a lot of stuff going on. I think they've reproduced this glass, I'm not sure, I'd have to look it up. But this Gottlieb's sing-along. 12 of 54, Gottlieb's Diamond Lil. Another one of those double award games. You can see across the top there's lots of Parker babes. And you score your millions by scoring with these babes. You got your usual selection of blondes, brunettes, redheads, and of course, because he can't draw hands very well, he's sticking the hands behind their butt wherever possible, just so he doesn't have to draw them. Kind of a weird little trivia thing there going on. And there's the main chick there with her big purple dress on that says Diamond Lil. I don't know who this guy is. He's some kind of a riverboat gambler or something. He's the dude as opposed to the man. And there's the treasure chest of double. And of course, this being a Gottlieb game from the 50s, you can win both on score, which is in the millions, and points, which is there. This one's a real nice original. They have reproduced this glass, so if anybody needs this one, it is available. Hey, look, I got 2 midget racer glasses. So apparently this is the better of the 2. We've already seen this in this tape, so we won't stay on this one. Whoa, Gottlieb's World Champ, 8 of 57. This is another one of those Roy Parker glasses. And very interesting, lots of crowd scenes going on. You can see over here that there's, you know, rowdy spectators, and for some reason they're fighting. They're always fighting. You look at these Parker glasses and the guys in the background are always having little fisticuffs. And there was an article in the game room about 2 or 3 issues ago. If you look at the credit window, there's a towel there. And apparently they made a second version of this game, and on the towel was the word added balls. And instead of winning free games, you could win added balls. This would be probably the first added ball. That was a real shocker to see that. Lots of color going on. You got two white guys fighting. Gottlieb's World Champ. Okay, this is Gottlieb's Alice in Wonderland. This is one of those, what they call the fairy tale series that Gottlieb made. They had Alibaba, Alice in Wonderland. This one's from 8 of 48, and as you can see, it's in really rough shape. It's kind of sad. If you look right there around the word Alice, it's mostly gone. I have the game, unfortunately. This is such a beautiful glass. You got the staircase in the middle. You got, I don't know what that's the knave. What has she got, cheesecake there or something? She's got a treasure chest. And down here it's D-Go. It's this glass is so bad the word Gottlieb is gone. Gottlieb's Alice in Wonderland, one of them fairy tale series games. And since my tape counter says that we're almost out of time, this will probably be the last glass. Again, please send along your $6 to help pay for the postage and the tape. I'm not trying to make $1 million off this project, but it's not fair that some people get it free and other people pay for it. So send along $6. That'll help me out. The address is on the box. And if you've got any video, send your video along too for the next tape, which will be coming out soon.